Hi, I'd like to share my story of swimming around Shell Key with Ken. Shell Key is located north of Fort DeSoto and is a 4-mile swim. On this map, the red dot was our start and end point at the northern part of Fort DeSoto. You can only reach Shell Key by boat, and we chose to start on Fort DeSoto. Let me thank a few people first. Ken determined an optimal date, time, and direction to swim based on tidal predictions. Along the way, he got some advice from Jordan, a top swimmer in this area. Ken reconned possible start points and ended up making excellent decisions before the swim, which contributed to a successful swim. I'd like to thank my Sunday morning swim friend Mike, who knew I could handle the cold water, as we've been sensibly acclimating to the cold water together. He gave me a big boost of confidence. Thanks to Shelley and Bambi, other top swimmers in the area who provided critical cold water advice, which I'll share in a few minutes. Getting back to the map, Ken suggested the start point, or the red dot. The orange dot was a channel marker almost directly across from our start point. The green dot was another channel marker. We headed south across Bunce's Pass and then along the south channel up to Irma Pass, the blue dot. After that, we cruised south for almost 2 miles into Bunce's Pass, then to the end. We met with great success. Shell Key was 3.9 miles and took us a little over 2 hours. I was prepared for 2 hours, 45 minutes, maybe 3 hours, in sub 65 degrees without a wetsuit. As you might guess from this photo, it was very shallow along the east side. We had to walk twice for 200 yards each because the water was only a foot deep. If you want kayak support for this swim, I suggest the kayaker hang out on the outer side or Gulf side and escort you through the passes, avoiding the shallow south channel. It's probably a good idea to swim within 2 to 3 hours of high tide when you're in the south channel because it's so low. I'd like to share what was going through my mind a few days leading up to this swim. I was anxious about Bunce's Pass and spending 3 hours in temperatures below 64. Although I've been safely acclimating to cold water, I suspect I'm getting close to my limit. The day before, Ken texted me and said, "Are you certain you can finish?" I said, "The word certain is a tricky word. I think I'm 95% certain." I got some good info from Shelley, who suggested silicone earplugs. I called Bambi, who crushed the English Channel in September with a time of 11 hours and 26 minutes with an average water temp of 64 degrees Fahrenheit, but she was prepared for 55 degrees for 13 hours. Bambi noticed that I wasn't going to be swimming in a radically lower temperature than what I was acclimating towards. She took a look at my recent history of cold water swimming and thought I was within reason to attempt Shell Key. She wouldn't advise a drastic change such as a 10-degree difference. She asked if I was drinking cold drinks, room temperature, or warm drinks during the swim. I was planning on room temperature water. She suggested I keep my head well covered, and I said I was going to wear 2 swim caps and a neoprene cap, which I did. She suggested getting out and walking along the shore if I ran into problems. She talked about pain in cold water. I have not yet experienced pain or discomfort. When I hung up, I was feeling very confident and started getting excited about Shell Key. Like I said before, we started at 8 a.m. and immediately crossed Bunce's Pass. I smiled as the current pushed us to the right in the perfect direction. The marine life was beautiful. Lots of thin, skinny crabs, a few sand dollars, a few horseshoe crabs, and a few things I haven't seen before. After many of my swims, I go online to try to identify what I saw, and most of the time I come up short. I just don't think I'm looking in the right place. When we made it to Irma Pass, we felt the current against us. This is perhaps the toughest part of the swim, but it's a short distance. The tide was coming in, and we wanted it in our favor as we headed south and across Bunce's Pass at the end. The shore is so close that you can get out and walk if the current proves to be too much to handle. All right, welcome to Shell Key. Ken and I are at the northern end, about 2 miles from our start point. And look what 2017 did. Hurricane Irma carved through, split this island, so we have Irma Pass to swim through. And we're very excited to head out and then south again because the water will be deeper. We had a couple of spots here where we had to walk due to very shallow, like maybe even a foot deep. Are you enjoying this swim, Ken?
I'm having a great time. This is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I have Ken to swim with these crazy islands, and it's great. On the right side, we saw interesting plant and sea life, and I was looking forward to what awaited us on the left side. After we made it through Irma Pass, I've never felt so free in my life. At some points, we were whipping in the current. I clocked one 500-yard segment at 5 minutes and 15 seconds, my fastest ever in the Gulf. On the right side of the island, there was no exit point, but heading south, all I saw was shoreline, trees, and a desolate, beautiful island. I'd love to be stranded or live on this island for a few weeks. We saw 2 or 3 boats during our swim and one person walking on the island. I rolled over on my back and took in the scenery, noticing the Don Cesar and several miles north along the coastline. The entire swim, except for the corner of the island and Bunce's Pass area, was crystal clear. This was my 8th or 9th island swim, and I'm captivated by how the scenery and experience of the water, from a swimmer's perspective, changes at least 4 main places, both sides and the passes. Ken and I stayed together the whole time and took a break right after entering Bunce's Pass. The water immediately turned from calm to choppy, churning in all directions. The current was extremely strong, pushing us in the direction we were heading. An inexperienced swimmer might panic at this point, but experienced swimmers know that you must adapt to the conditions you find yourself in. It's important to swim with a buddy and a buoy on swims like this, and to be in communication with your swim partner or friends. Ken said he was going to sight on 2 towers, and when we got to the orange channel marker, we knew to look for our start point. I hung my bright pink sweatshirt in the trees just in case, but we had total confidence in our start point. One thing we did was before we started swimming, we turned around, looked back at shore, and got a good look at our start point from the water's perspective. After a cold water swim, you want to get to your towel and warm clothes quickly if needed. We had flip-flops and a towel waiting for us, and the cars were parked a short distance away. Additional info you might want to know: I drank about 24 ounces of water before the swim and had 2 bananas. During the swim, I packed 24 ounces of water but drank 18 to 20 ounces. I had 2 honey gels. After the swim, I drank a little water and within the first 90 minutes ended up eating 5 bananas. My drive was 45 minutes away, plus I had 45 minutes of errands. The bananas were my car food, and I ate a bigger meal when I got home. My favorite part of the swim was the experience of being out in the wild, cruising south along a desolate island. I absolutely love the feeling and fantasy of a remote island, reachable only by boat. I was envisioning the TV show Survivor taking place on Shell Key. If I was a contestant, what team would I join? Beach bums or high school chums? Pool people or night pool people? Breakfast club or Harbour Island club? Goofballs or Navy SEALs? Church ladies or my family? How about thunder from down under? I don't know. All I can say is that Shell Key was a memorable and amazing swim, another experience I can add to my life where I push myself to new limits, making me feel alive and energized. The swimmer's afterglow lasted the entire day. If you like this video or this channel, hit the like button and subscribe. If you're interested in swimming in the Tampa Bay area, there are numerous people you can connect with in and around the area through various websites, social media, or on Facebook. I'll leave a few links down below. Remember to always be safe, sensible, and respectful